Welcome back, folks, for another exclusive news, because I have the full info about the new Sony FX5 internal recording formats and also the full info about the IBIS system on the FX5. So today there will be a lot of good news for you that are interested in buying this camera that will be announced on July 22. So make sure to be online on sonyalpha to follow the live blogging at 3 p.m. London time on that day. But before we kick off, the usual reminder to first of all like this video, to have my YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button to not miss of the upcoming rumors. Before to talk about the FX5, let's catch up with another announcement that will happen on July 15. There will be actually two announcements, one from Tamron and one from Viltrox. Tamron will announce the 12 to 20mm 2.8 E and Z mount lens. I already leaked the image and specs on sonyalpha, so I'm not going to repeat everything here, but I think this is one of the most interesting lenses Tamron announced in the past years. It's a wide-angle zoom lens for astrophotography that is very compact, lightweight, and also relatively affordable for under $2,000, and it will be announced on July 15 at around 10-11 a.m. in the morning at London time. You can follow live blogging sonyalpha. At the very same day and also at the very same time, Viltrox will announce two new lenses. One is a new generation, an updated version of the already existing 28mm 1.8 full-frame E-mount lens, and the second lens is the new Pancake, the 26mm 2.8 full-frame E-mount lens that will be priced at $299. Back to the FX5, we have two big news today: IBIS and internal RAW formats. And it's all good news, so no bad surprises, okay? You ready? So, drum rolling. First of all, the Sony FX5 has IBIS, but there's a funny fact to be added, because Sony added the possibility to remove that IBIS system. So you can order the FX5 with the IBIS or also without it. Now, I'm no cine expert guy, I'm just guessing. Having not an IBIS system is advantageous, for example, for gimbal use or for people that want extreme sharpness and not having a wobbling sensor in the camera, so you can have it removed. Sources didn't tell me if the price will be the same or if you have to pay more to get it removed. That's something I don't know yet, but there is an option to remove it. The sources also did not share the specs of the IBIS, but I'm 99% certain this is the IBIS system of the Sony a7R6, the a7V 8.5 stops image stabilization. So the best you can get, I'm pretty certain that this is the one we're getting. And probably that's why the sources didn't even bother to share me the full specs, because this is the one we are getting. Okay, good news, the FX5 has IBIS. Okay, now let's move on to internal RAW formats, because this is the key to the camera's success or possible failure, along the price of course, but I already told you the price is under the pricing of the FX6, which now sells for around $7,000. So my guess, something between $6,000. That's the pricing of the FX5. I should get the final pricing very soon, so I will make an update as soon as I know the pricing. You can also follow sonyalpha for constant smaller updates, smaller rumors. I'm not going to make a video for every small rumor, but there you can follow everything. Also subscribe to the newsletter to not miss any of the rumors. So internal RAW, obviously it has internal RAW. The good news, it records 16-bit internal RAW, okay? And there are two new formats coming for this particular camera: the C1 and the C2 format. Those are compressed internal RAW formats, 16-bit, that you can have on the FX5. One is more compressed, one less compressed, so that's the difference. The C1 is a bit more higher quality and the C2 is a bit lower quality. And now the very excellent news: those are not the only two internal X-OCN formats we are getting. The Sony FX5 also has the X-OCN LT internal RAW format, so you can record in that format that is in use on the $25,000 Sony Burano. So you're getting a codec on a camera that costs around $6,000 or $5,500, so the Sony FX5, and that's really a surprising news. So you're not having only the compressed versions, the new version, which is handy to have. You know, if you don't want to use a lot of disk space on your card and so forth, you can have the C1, C2. If you probably also have less overheating issues and so forth. but you also have that super professional LT format. You don't get the ST and the XT formats. The ST is the standard codec, the XT is the extreme codec that you get on the Venice 2. It's nearly impossible to implement in such a compact body, but we have the LT, and that's really terrific news in my opinion. But you, as a cine guy, if you're following me, let me know in the comment system if you agree with me or if you have other insights. But basically you have the choice between those three X-OCN 16-bit formats in the camera. So the LT being the highest with a bitrate of 389 megabits per second. Then you have the new C1 with a bitrate of 289 megabits per second, and the new C2 with 232 megabits per second. Testers tell me that image quality is superb on this camera, that a rolling shutter is super minimal, so you really don't miss the fact that it doesn't have a global shutter sensor. It has a 16.6 rolling shutter stack sensor, but it works super fast, so that's what they told me. And you have those professional format, internal 16-bit recording formats that are very flexible. I also have a list, a table with all the possible formats that I show you now. You can pause the video to get into the details. I'm not going to read you every option, but what's important is that the X-OCN LT C1, C2 internal formats record in 5K 3.2, 5K 79, 5K 69, and in crop 3.8 69. So that's the news I got from my sources. And by the way, thank you to all sources for sharing correct info. If you have some rumors to share, and hopefully also some high resolution FX5 images, because we posted some leaks but they are low resolution, would be nice to get a better view of the camera. You can contact me using this email address in contact form. Use an acronym on a contact form so that I can recognize in future. Also, when you send a rumor, don't be upset if I don't publish ASAP. I try to triple check it to avoid mistakes, because sometimes people just send me AI images of the FX5 to try to fool me. So I have to be a bit patient, and you have to be a bit patient to make a good work, okay? Now, to recap, the Sony FX5 is basically the FX3 body, a bit thicker, so the camera will be a tiny bit bigger overall, but particularly thicker. It doesn't have the control wheel. It has the larger LCD screen, the 3.5 screen. It can do so much more than FX3. I don't think we will ever get an FX3 2. We likely will get sometime in 1-2 years the FX2 second generation, because there's still room for an affordable FX camera. The FX5 is not going to be an affordable FX camera if it's priced around $5,000-$6,000. So there's still room for the FX2, but I don't see an FX3 2 ever coming at this point. A more philosophical question would be if there will be ever an Sony a7S IV, now that the FX5 can also have an external tiltable EVF on top. Do you need the a7S IV? Let's recap the specs of the FX5. It uses a new 16.6 megapixel fully stacked sensor, the BIOS XR2 with built-in AI chip. It can record 3 X-OCN 16-bit internal RAW formats. It has minimal rolling shutter. It has open gate, triple base ISO, false color. It has IBIS that you can remove, an optional external tilting EVF, a 3.5-inch fully articulating screen, a double dual SD CF Type A slot, and the announcement happened July 22 at 3 p.m. London time. And you should absolutely be on sonyalpha.com to follow the live stream, because I will embed the live stream there. Also, we'll have a live blogging and constantly update you to the best news, reviews, and so forth. And also have the pre-order links there. Those are affiliated links, so I get a small commission. You don't pay a cent more. It's a nice way to reward me. I have those affiliate links are in the description box below here. So those are search links, but at the day of the announcement, on those search links, you will find a camera. And if you pre-order ASAP, you will be on top of the list, because I suspect with all those specs, and despite the still hefty price that you have to pay for the FX5, this camera will sell like hotcake, in my opinion. Of course, the devil is always in the detail. And some reviewers might find out that there are some issues here and there and so forth, but from what I heard from the testers that are using the FX5, they're all extremely happy, which is not something that often happens, because, for example, when I got the first info about the FX2 before the launch, people were not happy about this camera. They told you this. About the FX5, there is no such issue as of yet. Can't wait to see your comments, what you think about the camera now that we have a better picture of what the camera can do. Maybe a small teaser at the end. I'm already working the rumors after the FX5 because I heard about new lens announcement from Sony Sigma, and then camera announcement from Canon, Nikon, Fujifilm, WAM Digital, Panasonic. So there's a lot of stuff coming between late August, September, October, okay? So we'll have a lot of work to do. So definitely subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button if you don't want to miss any of the upcoming exciting rumors and leaks, okay? See you soon, folks.